This hyena fed a captured leopard cub to its own children, never realizing that death had already revealed its fangs behind him. The hyena believed this was a gift from nature, but it had unknowingly started the most terrifying revenge on the African savannah. The anger of the leopard mother would make this hyena family disappear before the night was over. On the African savannah, a leopard mother gave birth to a cub. She gently licked her newborn child. The cub was her entire hope. With its eyes still closed, it responded instinctively to the warmth and protection of its mother. These peaceful moments were precious, but in the cruel laws of nature, silence is often the beginning of danger. Far away, a greedy predator had already caught the scent of blood. Behind the dry grass, death was silently approaching. The hungry hyena watched the mother and her cub from the shadows. It saw the weakness of the leopard after giving birth and moved closer step by step, hiding none of its intentions. For the sake of her child, the mother leopard had no choice. Even though her body trembled, she issued her final declaration of war, but her warning failed. The hyena saw through her weakness. This was no longer a contest of strength, but a crushing battle of endurance. As the tension filled the air, the hyena suddenly shifted its attention. Ignoring the mother's threats, it locked onto the helpless cub. Driven by instinct, the frightened cub stumbled back toward the den. To protect her own blood, the mother leopard launched a desperate counterattack. In this battlefield of dust and death, every strike of her claws became a fight against fate itself. She was burning away the last of her life. In the terrified eyes of the cub, the world was collapsing. The cub watched helplessly as its mother struggled. She continued resisting the greedy invader, but her broken body had reached its limit. The flame of life flickered in the wind, and even the strongest will could no longer overcome physical exhaustion. With a heavy fall, the wall of protection built by her life finally collapsed. Fear swallowed the cub's instincts. It tried to disappear into the darkness, but the nightmare had already arrived. Blood-stained jaws entered the shadows, and the cub's cries were buried beneath the dust. It was dragged violently into this cruel world. The thief proudly carried away its prize. It took not only a life, but also all of a mother's hope. The leopard's vision began to blur as she watched the figure disappear into the distance. The savannah returned to silence. For the cub, it had become a journey with no return. Deep inside the hyena den, hungry eyes waited greedily. Fate revealed its cruelest face. A mother's greatest love became a feast for others. On this land, the cries of the weak are often drowned by the laws of predators. This is not evil. It is survival. But the long night did not take her life. As the first rays of dawn appeared, the primitive fire of life reignited inside her body. The deep pain awakened her. She began licking her wounds, and this ancient instinct of healing gave new hope to her broken body. Time passed silently, and the terrible wounds slowly became scars, turning into the armor of revenge. The pain gradually faded, and her lost strength returned. Once again, she transformed into the golden lightning of the savannah. Every step announced the return of the queen. This was not simply a hunt. It was a trial of rebirth. As her teeth pierced prey once again, the top predator of the grasslands awakened, and the instinct for survival returned. She walked through the frightened herds with her eyes fixed ahead. The prey around her no longer mattered. Hunger had disappeared, but her anger still burned. She moved through the evening light, following the path of revenge. The arrogant thief walked beneath the setting sun, completely unaware that fate had already arrived. Without a roar and without warning, the golden death burst from the shadows like lightning. This time there was no escape. The teeth of revenge pierced the throat of the enemy with deadly precision. The enemy was dead, but the leopard did not stop. She stepped over the body and walked toward the place where her child had been taken. The leopard entered the hyena den. Her sharp claws fell without mercy, killing the hyena cubs one after another. Fate completed its cruel circle. When the dust finally settled, every hatred and every sorrow had been buried. She walked toward the setting sun without looking back. But she could never recover the hope she had once gently licked and protected.